I'm currently in the process of building my first ever gravel bike, and in today's video I am getting some guidance from my friend and cycling YouTuber Jasper Verkuijl. I don't know how to say his Dutch name, but he's a cool dude.
Jasper Verkuijl.
What's up guys, my name is Charles and welcome back to my cycling YouTube channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more cycling content. So Jasper is another cycling YouTuber. He's been around for a few years and he has been pulling out a lot of cool videos. Recently, I've seen his 3-part series about building a gravel bike and I had a lot of questions for him. So I decided to invite him over on my channel to have a chat. This video is quite long, but there is some timestamp in the description down below, so do not hesitate to skip forward to what piques your interest. This is week number 2 of my Dream Gravel Build series, so if you missed last week's video, do not hesitate to check it out. Alright, without further ado, here is my conversation with Jasper. Hey Jasper, thank you for coming to my YouTube channel. I'm glad you're here. I have a lot of questions for you.
Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Yeah, well, first of all, your first 3 parts of your gravel series was really amazing. But before we go on to this subject, can you introduce yourself and give the people a little bit more about yourself? So
yeah. For you guys that don't know who I am, which are probably a lot, but I'm Jasper. I'm from the Netherlands. I also have a YouTube channel like Charles, but I combine it with regular work and stuff, and it's all about cycling, obviously.
Yeah.
I got into road cycling about 2014, 15, I guess. But before that, I was BMX racing. So I've been on the bike my whole life.
Yeah.
I'm 31 right now. And I have 2 boys. One is turning 1 year old this month. The other one is 2.5. And my girlfriend, we live together in the Netherlands. And what is there to say? I like cycling and I built my gravel bike, which you can see right there behind me.
Yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about your bike.
And I race. I race and I do events where I can, combining it with regular life.
What level are you racing in the Netherlands?
So I've raced, let's say 3 full years. Because this year I won't count really as a year.
Yeah.
I was racing in the elite category and in category 1 in
the States,
Los Angeles,
yeah,
in the United States. I think I was actually a Cat 2 officially, but that's just because I got to choose my category when I asked for a USA license, because I have a UCI license that just let me pick my category between 2 or 3, and I said 2. But now I'm racing the Pro 1-2 races, and I even raced the category 1 race on my UCI license, which is a long story, but basically I'm UCI elite category. Yeah.
Cool. And in the first place, why did you start YouTube? What was your reason behind it?
In the first place,
yeah,
it was just for my own fun of making videos. You know, if you go way back to my videos, or in my channel, you can go way back, like a long time. You go to the BMX videos, and then I just made a video about some races that I did, and I had like 200 views, just the people that would know me and stuff. And then I made some videos about holidays and ski holiday with my friends, and then I made some videos about my life in Australia. I lived there for a year and stuff, and I just had some views, but it wasn't more for the fun of editing and just have a sort of a storage on YouTube. Yeah. And then I made a video about Mont Ventoux, which is the most viewed video of my YouTube channel. It's like 2 million right now. It's the descent on Mont Ventoux, and my best friend, when he overtakes me, he flies out of the corner. And I have this on camera, and I decided to put it up. It was months later, and this video just exploded on YouTube. You know, it went pretty viral. And I also made a video about the whole story, why we were there and stuff. And that video did pretty good as well. But it was all in Dutch, and I had subtitles. Yeah. And people started saying, "Oh, why is it not in English?" And blah blah blah. And then I was like, okay. Yeah. Maybe I should make another video about me riding somewhere on a nice location. So when I was in Los Angeles, I shot just some footage. I made a video, and there were actually quite a lot of people watching, and that's sort of how it started. I figured, okay, it's fun to make some videos.
Yeah.
It really was a hobby.
Because you do have another, like a real full-time job after it. You're a flight pilot.
Yeah. So for the long-time subscribers and the people that like really follow me a lot, they will know. Other people are like, why is this guy traveling the whole world?
Yeah.
In China 1 week, and then the next week he's in Los Angeles, and why is he in a hotel and all that stuff? But yeah, I'm an airline pilot.
Yeah.
On a Boeing 747, so that's a
Those
long
big
haul plane. So I fly all around the world.
Yeah.
And everywhere I go, I try to ride my bike.
So
sometimes this is in the gym.
Yeah.
But most of the time, it's actually in a really cool place. And then Los Angeles was one of my one of my layovers, which actually had a great ability for me to ride my bike. So I try to go there as much as I can.
Yeah.
Or could, because now I'm not flying this plane anymore. But and that's when I started making videos all around the world.
Got it. So that's the secret behind all those travels.
Yeah.
But
so some people are still like, what is this guy doing in the comments? And then somebody else would say, yeah, he's an airline pilot. And it's kind of funny that people are replying to my questions or questions to me. But
that's really cool.
But it's awesome because it makes my channel very diverse.
Yep.
And now that I've been in with the whole COVID stuff, I haven't been flying much, so I've done one race in Marietta, close to Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And for the rest, I had no content of my travels, and of my races abroad and all that stuff. And usually I make a lot of those videos. So my videos of last year have been a bit different, I guess, from the previous 4 years. But
you gotta adapt to the situation.
Yeah, you gotta adapt, and then you think of different stuff. And I made a video about my bike in LA, and I made a video about my bike in the Netherlands, and then I started building this thing, which we'll talk about more today. I guess it was a very long story, so that made a couple cool videos, and I just made up some stuff to do and to make cool content around, and I still have a few videos that were pretty cool, I think, this year, but it's been hard as well to combine everything with family life and being home.
Yeah.
For some reason is it's very busy as well.
No doubt.
Just being home, yeah.
So cool. So why did you finally jump into the gravel world? Is it like because it's your first gravel bike or no?
This is my first gravel bike.
Yeah.
I'll go a little bit to the side so you can see it. Yeah. I'm not sure why it's reversed because it's in mirror, but I started riding. I was always riding on the road. I also talk about this in the first part of my series.
Yeah.
I won't tell you everything, but I was always training intervals and stuff, so I never wanted to go off-road because you don't know where you end up. Mm-hmm. And I really like to have a road where I exactly know where I would go, because I know like I have a 5-minute interval that I need to complete without stopping, without turning, without braking, anything. And if you go off-road,
you never know. Yes, that's true.
Yeah, you have to stop, you have to brake, you've got corners, maybe there's a slippery surface, whatever. And I don't like to be sort of searching where I need to go to get back home and stuff. So I never went off-road, but I started riding with my oldest son in the chariot behind my road bike. And when I was riding with him, I was going super slow anyway. I just did my steady, low intensity training sessions with him. Mm-hmm. And I started doing some of these like light gravel roads. It's almost like a bike lane, but then it's on gravel. Yeah. And I actually thought it was a lot of fun. And I was riding through the forest with him, and that's when I started to think like, okay, I want to have a gravel bike. And then I was like, well, I'm just gonna build one myself, and it's gonna make a really cool story, and it's gonna be fun to do it. So that's why I built a gravel bike.
I think the reason for me is I was on the. I had no intention of getting a gravel bike last summer, and at some point we randomly got into a gravel road on a big group rides, and I was like, "This is so fun! There's no cars behind you, and it's like it's smoother, and like there's no traffic, which is the big part of it. It's a bit more relaxed, and so this is why I'm building myself also a gravel bike, and that's why I reach out, because you have this experience before me of getting the build. As of right now, I'm getting all the parts. They're still not all there yet. But so your gravel series is currently 3 parts. Is there more coming out?
There is. Not about the build, because the build is
finished, done,
obviously. But I've actually been on my first gravel bikepacking trip. Just before New Year, so between Christmas and New Year's, I went 2 full days of riding and one overnight, and I had my bike loaded up with some bags, and I took the camera and I got the footage. So I'm gonna make a video about that. So that's gonna be sort of part 4, I guess, like the first gravel bikepack trip. Yeah. And I'm not sure where it's going to go after that. It's not like I plan everything in advance. Maybe I should do that more. It's better to have structure. Because the video about this bike, I was just editing it. And when I laid down all the footage and cut everything as short as I could, I had already like 45 minutes of footage.
Yeah, no doubt.
And I was pretty sure that people are not going to watch for 45 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'll just cut it up in 3 parts. Then I could get the first part ready and publish it, and then work a little bit on the second part and the third part while it's not completely done. And I'm such a... I always do all the little details of the edit, you know, so I go through the whole thing 3 times, 4 times, 5 times, way too much. And then the music, and sometimes the program is weird, and the titles, the font of the titles change, and I'm like, crap, I need to do it again. But anyway, 3 parts, and I don't know what's coming up, but there will be a part about the trip. Yeah. And I thought about maybe doing a video about, some stuff that I learned on my first gravel trip, because I crashed, I had some bad routings, there was a lot of stuff that I think I can gather in a video and, give back to whoever's watching as an informational piece of content. I always like to give some info, so
from everything you learned throughout your experience. So that's why people came from, that's people who watch part 1, part 2, and part 3. They're involved into the story of your gravel bike, and giving like the story of your adventures on that bike. I think people are gonna love it for sure. Speaking of mistakes, and you just mentioned, what was the biggest mistake that happened to you during the build part, and how could have you avoid it?
Yeah, on the build, definitely the brakes, the hydraulics. Part 2 of the video is about some other stuff, but it's mainly about hydraulics. And I messed up the connection of the shifter and the hydraulic hose. Yeah, it goes in there with an olive and a bolt, and you need to screw it in. But you need to put it in there the correct way. And if you've never done this before,
you don't know. Yeah.
You don't know. You think you're doing the right thing, and you look at the manual, because I had the manual literally in front of my nose, and I did exactly what it said, but it didn't go in all the way. So I started turning this bolt, and there's a hydraulic hose, and it was slightly misaligned or whatever, and it just, everything turned into shit inside, basically, and it actually damaged my shifter. Yeah. And I did it on the other side exactly the same way.
So you damaged both.
Because I didn't know I broke it before. So I had 2 damaged shifters. Shifters are 200 euros a piece. So at some point, I thought I had to buy 2 new shifters. I'm like, what?
That's expensive.
That's a really expensive mistake. Yeah. And that's the biggest mistake. How can you avoid it? Just ask somebody to have a look while you're building it, or take it to the bike shop. But you don't want to do that because you want to build it yourself. If we assume you're building it yourself, I guess either do it my way and then find out yourself. If you watch my video, then you won't make the same mistake. Or just, have somebody with you that has built a bike before.
Yeah.
And he'll know some things that could go wrong. And if I build a bike like this again, first of all, it's going to go way faster.
Yep.
I will know what to do right, what to do wrong, or what not to do wrong. I'll know the order of how to build it up. What's easy. I know what tools I need, and I found everything out myself. Of course, you can spend 5 days on Google and YouTube and see how everybody builds a bike.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you, if you do it yourself, you're going to have some problems that you didn't foresee.
Yeah.
Okay. There's this channel, Bike Dream Builds or whatever. He makes amazing videos. He gets freaking millions of views.
G Miller, I think he's called.
I know you know the footage because I think everybody has seen one of his videos, at least. And I've seen these videos. It's like, oh, that's easy.
Yeah. Step by step, you do
it's
that.
It's not like that.
No.
Even if you watch the video, it's like, okay, I'm just gonna watch this video and watch exactly what he does, and then I'll know how to build a bike. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen. If you build your bike yourself, it's gonna go different.
Yeah.
I've
built my girlfriend bike last summer. I got her Windspace 2, and it went well because it was rim and mechanical. But my disc brake I brought it to the shop. So this time I think I'm gonna build the whole bike, but without the brakes. And I'm pretty close to the bike, my local bike shop, and I want the mechanics to show me how to put those.
How to do the brakes.
How to do the brakes, yeah. Because it's gonna be a first time, and seeing your mistake is something I want to avoid. $200.
And a couple of things. If you have mechanical brakes, rim brakes. It's not really hard.
No,
it's not that hard. It's not. You can't mess up that much. If you have mechanical shifting, same thing. But hydraulics and Di2, I mean, hydraulics and electronics on a bicycle. That's where it gets a lot more difficult. And like right now, I have a bike with Di2, and yesterday. Instantly, it stopped working. It's completely dead. I did all these checks and connected all the wires, and I hooked it up to my computer. I hooked my bike up to my computer. What? I mean, what are we talking about? But you can actually do this, and it didn't see anything. So the battery is dead.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what you're doing, you can spend 2 days.
Yeah.
And the battery is dead. And hydraulics, take it to the bike shop. That's a smart idea. But if you want to do it yourself, then you should be there when they actually put it together.
Yeah.
And not every bike shop is gonna let you do that.
Nope.
But
no, you need to know the owner or know the guys. They can let you in and show you. But I mean, over time, like when you start to make contacts into the industry, that's something that can happen. But if you're just buying a bike and you go to your local shop, they're probably not gonna teach you how.
No, it's gonna take them time, and they just want to make their money.
Exactly. Any other mistakes happened to that gravel build that other than the brakes?
Well, mistakes, it was more, I had calipers that didn't fit because I didn't know that it was a flat mount and a post mount and a whatever mount. And I thought this was a flat mount, but it wasn't.
It wasn't a flat
mount.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a flat. Like these.
Flat mount is like what every road bike has nowadays. Yeah. So this is post mount.
Okay.
So I had to mount mountain bike calipers.
Yeah.
But I bought a complete group set with flat mount calipers. So I had to buy an extra set of calipers. Whatever. Well, the colors of this bike took me a lot of work.
Yeah, that was my next question. I said like the color match of your bike is really unbelievable. Have you always been this like artsy, or you just like to ride nice bikes?
I am a perfectionist.
Yeah,
and
I can tell.
Yeah, I saw a picture of a Mini, very old Mini, with this color, because the frame of this bike, this brand, is actually still not on the market.
Okay.
The idea was to promote this bike a little bit with my build.
Is it a friend of yours, like the owner, or?
Yeah, it's a friend of mine, and when I was having the idea to build a gravel bike, he sent me a message because I think I posted it on Instagram or something, and he sent me a message like, "Oh, I'll have a frame if you want. I have a frame that you can build your gravel bike on."
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Okay, cool. Let's talk." So that's when we started talking. He gave me the frame, and I built this bike.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still not for sale. But he's working on it. He has a couple of these frames, but they only come in one color, green.
Yeah, that's it.
So then I had to think about a cool color scheme. Of course, you can build up with black parts, and then it's just a green frame. But I saw this picture of a Mini with this is like McLaren green or British racing green type of green.
Yep.
And it had golden rims and a golden stripe. I'm like, that's it. That is the color scheme of my bike. But not every part is easy to find in gold. So I spent days, literally days and days just scouting for parts.
Yeah.
I got brake hoses from the UK. I've got bottle cages from China. I have the shifting cables from Germany. Everything comes from a different shop.
Yeah.
The valves of the tubeless valves are a different shop. The headset. And then I had 2 types of gold, which you will see in this gravel bike video as well, which didn't match. So I had to choose, like, am I going for one type of gold or the other type of gold? And then I had to change the seat post because I chose for the other color. And not every color is the same. And I try to get everything from the same brand, but that's impossible. Because there's no brand that makes all the parts. I have titanium golden bolts everywhere from Aliexpress, which I really wanted to know for sure that there was a good quality titanium, because there's a lot of difference in titanium and titanium, and there's a specific grade. So I saw this Aliexpress advertisement or product, and then I started Googling the factory and all this stuff to see if this titanium was actually good quality. And so I really double checked everything. And then the last part was a seat post clamp.
Yeah.
It was a very long time, it was a different color. And then I found this one and I replaced it. So
now you guys, so I think in your last part of the part 3, you didn't have the new clamp?
Yeah, there was this one.
Okay.
This one. Yeah,
got it.
Yeah,
it's looking nice.
The only thing that's the old color is the bottom bracket right here.
Yeah.
But it's sort of hidden away, and I'm pretty sure there's no bottom bracket in the yellow gold.
Yeah.
And it was already in there, and it was a good quality bracket. Yeah. And I was like, okay.
And it's a pain to change like a bottom bracket, like.
Yeah.
It can be hard.
I'm just gonna leave that in.
Yeah.
I can change the bearings of the bracket, so that's gonna stay in for forever, I guess.
You said you ordered parts from AliExpress in China. How long did it take for those to arrive?
Different, because some parts were here within 1 week.
Yeah.
And other parts I was already done with the bike.
Yeah.
And then there was an envelope. I'm like, oh. And I opened up and was like, oh yeah, I ordered that. I forgot about that. So some parts took like a month. And you never know with AliExpress.
Yeah, true.
They can also be held up by customs. And then customs will send you a letter with a bill because you have to pay extra for their investigation, which is very annoying because we have to pay like 17 or 18 euros just for the registration, even if the product is only 5 euros.
Oh wow!
So, to get it then is very expensive. But it didn't happen to me in this case. But it varies between 1 week or 30 days until you get the product.
Got it.
And you're never sure about the quality. I ordered other bottle cages from titanium as well.
Yep.
And you can get these bottle cages from a sort of a well-known brand. Titanium look, not titanium look, but titanium color, and they look exactly the same, but they're a quarter of the price on AliExpress. I don't want to mention the brand, just you can find it yourself. But when I got in the bottle cage, I didn't like the welds. So the welds were not, not very symmetrical, not nice and clean. And I guess, that's Aliexpress then, because you don't really know exactly what you get. But all the stuff that is on the bike now is pretty good. So.
Cool. Just a quick, 'cause since we're just talking about AliExpress, I've just ordered the Sensah Empire group set. Have you heard, or have you ever tried that group set?
I've only seen it with China Cycling
from Joe
talks about Chinese group sets, but I've never seen it. I've never used it. I'm curious about it.
Yeah.
But
I should receive it in the next weeks or so. Because at that price point, it's like 110 USD for a full group set. That's
really cheap. Huh?
Cheap, yeah.
But are you gonna do this? Put this on the gravel bike?
No. For my gravel bike, I have a Ultegra, a full Ultegra,
okay.
And then all my components are FSA, tires, Pirelli, and shoes Bond. I have like a few. All those brands are like partners for my channel, so they hook me up with all that stuff. So. It's really cool.
Nice.
About last question about the gravel bike. Any last tips and tricks for anyone who's looking to jumping into that adventure of building? Last word you have about
that? Think carefully about what you want to do with the bike first, and then think about what kind of components would facilitate that.
Yeah.
And then go for, if you want to build it yourself, then find a frame.
Okay.
And then actually find the components. It's kind of weird because you have to go sort of in a loop, because once you've bought the frame,
you're limited to tire size and...
It's like a very big concrete wall in the middle of your build. You can't go around it. Like if this frame, for example, my frame has certain mounts and fixations and standards for the axles and for top pull, rear down pull, derailleurs and all that stuff. And once you've chosen your frame, that's it. You can't change it. So think about that first. I didn't do that. I just thought, okay, I'll just take this frame, but then the derailleurs didn't fit. The brake calipers didn't fit, all that stuff, because I didn't know exactly what parts and compatibility was even possible. So think about what you want to do with the bike, and then just make something fun out of it. First, I wanted to do like a very cheap gravel bike build.
Yeah.
I thought, okay, this might be cool for YouTube.
The gravel, how do you call it? The budget mullet. I think that's the hack.
And then I went through my garage and I pulled out some old bike parts that I had. And I was like, nah, I just want to make a really cool bike. So then I just switched the idea. The only thing I used that I had already was the crankset, because it's Ultegra crankset. Nothing wrong with it. Yeah. And for the rest, everything is new. So.
What derailleur you have, and the tires width and the bar width, just.
Okay. I have Ultegra 8000 derailleurs and shifters, and then the Shimano XT brake calipers, because that's the mountain bike standard to fit the frame. Yeah. The wheels are Reaction 650B actually, so 27.5 inch mountain bike wheels. Okay. And that's because they would fit nicely with these very wide tires, because I got 47 millimeter Victoria.
Okay, they're big.
Turano Zero.
Wow. Okay.
So that's super fat.
Yeah, that's really fat.
It's really fat. And also the smaller wheels make the circumference of the tire the same, because it's a very fat tire, as a 700C wheel. Okay. Okay, so if I would have chosen a 700C wheel with a 47 millimeter tire, this webcam is weird. It's a very fat tire and the wheel is big, then the circumference of the wheel would increase and my gear ratio would actually increase as well. Yep. I didn't want to do that, because when I would go off-road, I would still want to have a light gear. So that's why I also chose a smaller wheel to have a smaller gear ratio.
God, wow, okay, that's good. That's really interesting.
I have a very narrow bar. I like my narrow bars on my road bike as well. So this is a 40, I think, 40 centimeters, but it's with a slight flare.
Yeah.
To be honest, I took a flared bar because it's sort of FOMO. I don't know. Everybody has a flared bar on a gravel bike. I don't see the use of it.
Okay.
I actually hit a pole with the flare because I'm so used to, my hands are the widest part of my bike. When I ride sometimes very precise, and when I ride past something, I actually hit. It was like a traffic light or something with the flare of the bars.
Okay.
Because it sticks out, and when you put your bike against a wall, with your shifter, I can't point it out because of your shifter hits the wall, so it damages because of the flare.
Wow!
When you have a straight bar, it never touches the wall.
I've never thought about that
before. And to be honest, I almost always ride on top of the hood.
Yeah.
Almost never go in the drops on my gravel bike, so I never use the flare.
Okay. So that's interesting because I got flared too on my bars. I have the FSA K-Wing they sent me, and like the bar looks nice. It has like this flat top where your hands are supposed to be, so it's more like ergonomic. But all the points you just talked about is something I've never thought about it. They say it's for more control when you go downhill because you're wider, so it's like a bit like a mountain bike. You have a wider stance, so you're more stable. That's the point of the flared bars. But I'll be looking for it. I'm gonna let you know if I like it or not.
Well, I have not done like really tough or long downhills or whatever.
Okay. Technical.
Because Netherlands is pancake flat, and I always ride like little hills, and I never need the brake power to go in the hoods or anything, or in the drop. Sorry.
Yeah.
Even when I go on the mountain bike trail, I'm on top. I don't need the extra stability or the whatever. So. You see it on beach bikes as well, with very, very wide flares. I don't know. I think it's more a hype than a true function. But someone else might tell you completely something different.
Yeah. So. Well, because the thing is, we're both like coming in from like high racing background, and probably like all those gravel type of guys who drink beers in the weekend and like have like like the typical gravel person will be completely disagree with us right now, but because we have a real background,
with a lot of beers, and he's like, oh no, I use the flares all the time, and he drinks another beer, and then I don't know, but if somebody has a good reason to go in the drops and use the super flared handlebars, let me know. These bars are the least. It's like a really small flare, because I could also buy exactly the same bars with a bigger flare.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so happy I didn't do that.
Yeah. What about the cleats? Are you going SPD or you stay with Look?
This sucks. I think I will transfer to SPD, so mountain bike pedals. I still have my old BMX shoes from 2014, and I will find them, and I'll just ride my BMX pedals with this.
So why? What did you find out? Is it more better because you're walking more on a gravel bike, or you're dismounting more?
I actually hardly ever walk, but sometimes you hit the pedal on the ground, and when you do walk, I guess when I ride this bike, it's more of a fun ride. So I might stop somewhere, have a look, take a photo, maybe have a drink along the way, and then it's just nicer to be on SPD shoes with a little bit more normal sole. Also, I was riding in the forest where I had to get off the bike because it was this much of mud. And then I was like, and my complete race shoe was completely full with crap. So I guess then it's better to have mountain bike cleats.
Perfect.
So and maybe my environment is not the typical gravel bike. I'm pretty sure where you're gonna ride in Canada, it's gonna be completely different where I ride. Okay, so the gravel is not the same gravel as I ride. You have hills, you have more forest or rocks. I've done mountain biking on my road shoes on Curacao because I wanted to have power. So I took these power pedals,
Yeah.
and I was riding on a mountain bike trail, and I had to walk over something like a rock garden or freaking big rocks on my mountain bike shoes, and I completely trashed the bottom of my shoe. I hit the pedals on the ground, on the rocks a few times. So
yeah, and those are expensive, huh? You have the Asioma, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have the same pedals, so you don't want to break those. They're like $1,000.
Because you actually hit the measurement part, the actual power meter of the pedal. You will hit it on the ground.
Okay.
It sticks out of the crank.
Shit. Okay.
So,
that's good to know.
Not the best combination.
Cool. So all right, I think this rounds up everything I had the question regarding the gravel bike. I have just a few more questions, a bit more for next year. What's coming for you? So what's coming in 2021 for you, Jasper?
2021. Well, it's very difficult. You know, I do live streams on Swift and stuff, and people already ask me like, "Oh, when is gonna be your next race? And where is your next race?" And I'm like, dude, I have no idea. Yeah. There's no race on the program right now because COVID is still canceled everything. So I can't even think about my next race because there's no such thing as racing at the moment. Mm-hmm. So for races, I'm just gonna wait and see what happens. But there's a lot of stuff going on in my job. So like I said, I'm not flying the same plane anymore because they phased it out. It's a very old plane. I'm going to transfer to a new airplane, and I'm starting my type qualification course next week.
Got it.
So this is a very busy time for me, and then I'm gonna work full time again. It's gonna be all different, and I have to see how it goes. I have to see how my life will be 1 or 2 months from now. I really cannot imagine how it's gonna be. So I won't be flying to Los Angeles anymore, which is a big pity. But I will be flying in Europe a lot, so I'll do the small, shorter flights. It's still busy with 2 kids, but we're building a pimp truck this week in the backyard.
A pimp truck?
A pimp truck.
Oh, pump track. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Pump track. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make footage on the pump track. Yeah. That's for sure.
Nice. Because you're gonna build it yourself.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends who own a pump track building company. Actually, 2 guys. Yeah. And they're coming to help me this Friday.
Cool. I mean, that was one of my next question is any upcoming videos that you can tell us about that was gonna go live on your channel. So the pump track. That's gonna be interesting.
For sure, I'm gonna make some kind of video about that. For the rest, it's kind of boring, but I used to have all these different types of plans and stuff. I will have some footage about a very interesting wheel system that I can't say too much about, but it's inflating and deflating while you ride. So that's really interesting for gravel and mountain bike.
Okay. Huh.
And I will do some content for them, and I would really like to go to Dirty Kansas, for example.
Yeah, same.
Which is now called differently. It has a different name because Garmin buys everything. But Dirty Kansas, that would be awesome. But I'm not sure if I can combine this. For the rest, I will step down 1 level. I'm not going to race elite anymore.
Okay.
Just because I don't have the time to train 15 hours a week.
Yep.
And I'll go to... it's called amateurs in the Netherlands, which is kind of a weird name for it, but it's basically like category 2.
Yeah, I'm sure it's really strong.
Yeah, it's 2, 3, or we only have 3 categories in total. But I'm just gonna do some criteriums, I guess, if they are doing any criteriums.
Speaking of criterium, one of my teammates have the questions for you. He say, can you come guest ride at Mardi Lachine? So Mardi Lachine, they're called like Tuesdays Lachine. So if ever you have a flight around Montreal and you're there on a Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
Yeah, we want you to come guest ride for us.
What's your bike size?
I'm small. I'm 5'6", so I ride a small. But
well, I need a large bike, and I'll be there.
Yeah, good. I'm gonna hook you up with the large bike as well. So I did a poll on my not a poll, but a question on my Instagram, and about like a few people had some questions for you. We're just gonna answer them. And someone asked, how do you tune your bike fits? So do you just go like, do you have any?
I'm looking this way because I have one bike on my kicker right here, my stationary trainer. That's why I'm looking this way. How will I do my bike fit? Well, I've done a bike fit only once, like a real bike fit. I made a video about it a long time ago, and after that, I just made very small adjustments. But I think I'm very easy to adapt to a different bike because I've been riding on rental bikes for the last 4 years, and all I change is the saddle height, and far, the forward of the saddle. So I know from the bottom of my crank to the top of the seat is 94 centimeters, and I go to the bike shop. I just okay, that's it, 94. And I go, and then sometimes I need to adjust it a little bit. But I ride 200 Ks on a bike I've never been on with just the saddle height, and I've hardly ever had any issues.
Oh, that's interesting. That's really interesting.
The Cannondale Super 6 that I rode the set, 570 kilometers on in one ride. I had it a week, and I adjusted a little bit. I put a longer stem on it, and I went for almost 600 kilometer ride. Yeah. No problem. So
that's crazy.
Bike fits for me. Luckily, I don't have any.
What's your size?
Bike?
No, your your height.
Oh, I'm 1.86 meters.
So what is that in feet?
Oh, that's 6 feet.
Okay.
2.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So my bike size is actually pretty small because I have a Cannondale 56.
Yeah.
And the track in Monda was a 56.
Okay.
So I prefer a small frame with a longer stem. But then, for example, I've been on a Canyon Aeroed medium, and I didn't like it. So it depends on the frame.
Got it.
Too big of a frame really sucks because I've been on a Canyon Ultimate Extra Large.
Yep.
It feels very weird. So the frame size is very important. Yeah. So you asked me about bike fits. We're going way off. You need to have a good frame size. That's the first thing. Don't buy a bike and then do a bike fit. Do a bike fit first, then buy a bike.
Yes.
If you buy Canyon Aeroed, which is a really flat freaking aero bike, and you have a back like a hobbit, and you can't go down low enough, you can ride the bike and because it looks good, but it's gonna suck. So if you don't know how your bike fit is, you really don't know what bike to buy. So I think that's the most important tip. If you've never bought a bike, if you don't know anything, do a bike fit first.
Yeah, so you know the measurements. Yeah, that's exactly what was. So I'm working sometime with a guy who owns a bike fit studio, and he said that all the time. You just wish that people will do bike fits before buying bike used on like on Craigslist or on eBay. They buy used bikes to save money, but then after that they spend more money because they have to change the bike or they have to change the parts. Or it's really interesting that you also mentioned
their bike, like they just spend 2,000 euros on a bike. Like, I want a bike fit on this bike, and this guy, he's like, well, I can't get you to fit on this bike because it's not gonna fit. And people want it, so they're gonna do all these crazy stems and whatever, Yeah. It's better to have a small frame and then to increase the length with a stem or something like that. But
Had another question. Who would perform better in gravel racing? A sprinter, like a pure sprinter, or a pure climber? What's your thought on it?
Oh.
Because gravel racing can be really physical, but it's also long distance.
Well, I've never done a gravel race before.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to think about this in a sort of a logical way. It depends on where the gravel race is.
Yeah.
Okay? Because if the race is in a very hilly area, the sprint is going to suck.
Yeah. It's a flat gravel.
But I think Dirty Kansas is pretty flat, right?
It's super flat.
And but then you end up, it's so long that it will get stretched out, and the sprinter won't be able to benefit his sprint, I guess, in a gravel race, or only if it's a very short race and he ends up at the finish
pack.
in a group, then he gets the sprint. But I don't think you're really going to sprint for the finish in a gravel race. I'm not sure. But a sprinter should be able to ride a steady pace for a long time and hide away in the peloton and stuff. So if there's a little group, he should be able to know where to go. A climber, if it's a true climber, it's probably a light guy. And if it's a flat gravel race with a lot of wind, he's going to have a very hard time.
That's true.
So then the sprinter, who has more absolute power, is going to have better cards. So I will go for the sprinter.
Got it. That's cool. That's
I'll choose myself, actually, because I'm a sprinter too.
You briefly mentioned it, but someone also asked, any interest in unsupported bikepacking racing? I didn't know it was a thing.
That is like Trans-Alps or...
or like the Trans-Europe, or I don't know what they're called, but...
in Australia, what's the name in Australia?
There's a few around the world where it's like 6,000 kilometer race and you support yourself. Do you have any interest in doing this kind of thing?
Yes, but I don't see it happening in the near future with my life, with my family and my job. I would have to take time off my job and
family.
My family. And I just don't see that happening, but I would think it would be very cool to do that. I actually did a little bit like this, between Christmas and New Year's. It wasn't a race. I slept in a house. I didn't sleep, on the mat on the side of the road, but I did take some stuff on the bike, and I took the food for the next day on the bike, the whole day. So that was really fun. So to do a unsupported or self-supported loop around Europe, for sure. I've actually been thinking I want to do North Cape in Norway to the bottom of Italy, for example, or Portugal. Like that.
Nice. And
it's going to take me a week or I have no idea how long it is, but something like that on the gravel bike would be really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And you go through the Alps, and the unpaved roads of the Alps are amazing. I've been there before. I'm sure it will be a blast.
So I'm pretty sure I can do that someday in my life, and maybe not the next year or 2 or 3 or 5, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do that.
Cool. What about your road bike? What bike are you gonna ride this year?
Well, I'm not sure. I have 2 bikes of myself, my own, like my personal bikes. And then I now still have the Cannondale System 6, Super 6. Dude, I always say they were wrong. Super 6. Which I can still keep for a little bit, just because
it's a good bike.
They're very nice.
I've had it.
Cannondale, and they let me ride their bike. But it's not my bike, so eventually it will have to go back. But I'm talking to Cannondale also about a mountain bike, and I don't have any other bike companies that
you in touch
at the moment want me to ride their bike. So I just keep on riding my own bike, or it's probably gonna be Cannondale, but we'll have to finalize that still.
Great. And the last question is from my best buddy. He's a friend of the channel. You're probably gonna see him on my channel one time. But he said, "What's your favorite dinosaur?" Random question.
The T-Rex.
The T-Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, man. T-Rex. I remember. What's the movie again? What's the movie with all the dinosaurs?
Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park. Yeah. Awesome movies. Yeah.
All right, the T-Rex. Cool. All right, so I think this is it, Jasper. Thank you so much for coming on my channel. I'm going to leave links to your YouTube channel and to your Instagram into the description so people can check it out.
Awesome.
If other people have questions, I think they can leave it in the description of this video. Maybe you can have a look and reply to them if you forgot them. So people, guys, don't be shy. Ask Jasper some stuff. And yeah, that's it for me.
Well, thanks a lot for the invite.
Yeah, no
it was
problem.
nice to have a talk, and it's a shame we're so far away, and
Yeah.
I'm not flying to Canada anytime soon. But I'm sure we could do
Yeah.
some other type of collaboration and make some videos together.
For
But
sure.
we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe I'll try a Windspace bike in the future, whatever. We can.
Do you
Talk
need,
about
if
that,
you need a
or-
contact, I can put you in touch with the right person.
Yeah, I'm talking to Joe.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's good.
Great. All right.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Jasper. Have a good night and talk
Yeah.
soon.